The Honda CR-V sits at the very top of the compact SUV charts. Millions sold, a name that practically sells itself. But holding the #1 spot doesn't mean it's the right pick for everyone. There are real gaps in what this SUV is delivering. And if you're about to sign on the dotted line, these 6 reasons why you should not buy a Honda CR-V deserve your full attention. Number 6. CVT isn't the most exciting choice. Let's open with the powertrain because it's where the CR-V starts to show its limits. The non-hybrid models are going to be pairing their turbocharged 1.5-liter 4-cylinder with a continuously variable transmission, and that combination is drawing real criticism from drivers and reviewers alike. Picture yourself merging onto a busy highway, needing to close a gap quickly. You press the accelerator down and the engine revs climb hard, filling the cabin with noise while the speed builds at its own unhurried pace. That mismatch between effort and result is exactly what CR-V owners are reporting when they push this powertrain. The engine takes on a rough, gritty character above 4,500 revolutions per minute, and the CVT's rubber band sensation makes the whole experience feel disconnected from what's happening under your foot. Rivals have handled this better. The Mazda CX-50 is pairing its engines with a proper stepped automatic, and the driving experience is noticeably sharper as a result. The CR-V's CVT is a functional piece of engineering, but for anyone spending north of $30,000 who occasionally needs real acceleration, it's a gap worth knowing about. And if this is how it drives on day 1, it's how it's going to drive on day 1,000. The powertrain is one thing, but what if the drivetrain itself isn't giving you what you paid for right from the base trim? That's the next problem. Number 5. All-wheel drive isn't standard. This one catches a lot of buyers off guard. All-wheel drive is not standard on the Honda CR-V. Front-wheel drive is the default setup across the LX, EX, and EXL trims, with all-wheel drive sitting behind a separate price tag. For anyone living somewhere with real winters or anyone who simply wants the peace of mind of traction on all 4 wheels, this becomes an immediate problem. Think about what it actually costs when your vehicle loses traction at the wrong moment. A single winter incident, a fender bender, a tow truck call, a missed morning because the car won't move, easily runs into hundreds of dollars. All-wheel drive isn't just a performance feature. For a large portion of buyers, it's a genuine safety consideration, and the CR-V is treating it as an optional upgrade. The Subaru Forester Hybrid is shipping with symmetrical all-wheel drive across every trim at no extra charge. The CR-V is asking buyers to pay a premium for a feature that in 2027 should arguably be baseline equipment. Once you opt for all-wheel drive, the system is genuinely capable. Honda's updated traction management is now splitting torque 50-50 between axles, up from the older 60-40 limit. But that progress only helps if you actually get the system, and too many buyers are going to miss it entirely. So all-wheel drive costs extra, but once you're inside the cabin, you'd expect the storage situation to at least make up for it. It doesn't quite get there either, and here's why. Number 4. Would use more small item storage. The CR-V's cargo area is genuinely impressive. 39 cubic feet behind the second row in the non-hybrid version, enough to handle just about anything a family throws at it. But there's a different storage problem the CR-V hasn't cracked, and it's the kind you notice on every single drive. Small item storage inside the cabin is where this SUV is falling short. For a crossover at this price, the number of places to stash everyday objects feels underwhelming. Consider what the inside of your car looks like by the end of a typical week. Sunglasses case, phone, wallet, an umbrella that never quite fits anywhere. In a well-organized cabin, all of that has a place. In the CR-V, you're going to find yourself improvising more than you'd expect. The Kia Sportage is winning consistent praise for its cabin organization, and the Hyundai Tucson's interior is being called one of the most functional in the class. The CR-V's shortcoming here isn't dramatic, but it's the kind of thing that matters more at month 6 than it does on test drive day. And if storage inside the cabin already falls short, wait until you see what Honda is charging for the trim that's supposed to take things further off the beaten path. Number 3. Trail Sport lacks genuine off-road upgrades. The Trail Sport trim is new to the CR-V hybrid lineup, and Honda is positioning it as the adventure-ready version of the crossover. It's getting all-terrain tires on 18-inch wheels, revised front-end styling, black exterior accents, and a beefier overall look. On the outside, it reads as a serious off-road candidate, but looks and capability are two very different things. What the Trail Sport isn't getting is a lift kit, additional ground clearance, or meaningful underbody protection. The all-wheel drive CR-V hybrid is sitting at 8.2 inches of ground clearance, and the Trail Sport is not adding to that number. The moment you point a vehicle with a long front overhang at anything more than a moderate trail, that front end becomes a liability. Drivers paying $38,800 for this trim and expecting genuine trail capability are going to find themselves pulling back far sooner than the styling suggests. The Subaru Forester Hybrid without all-terrain tire standard is being rated as the more capable off-roader by reviewers who drove both. The Trail Sport badge is writing a check the hardware can't fully cash. The off-road story is disappointing on its own, but there's an argument the whole vehicle has a visual identity problem, and the Trail Sport is only part of it. Number 2. Bland aesthetics. The CR-V has always been a practical vehicle first, a stylish one second. That's fair, but the gap between what the CR-V is offering visually and what competitors are bringing to the same showroom floor is getting harder to overlook. The upright grille, the straightforward body lines, the inoffensive profile. It's a crossover designed to blend into traffic rather than rise above it. The Hyundai Tucson is turning heads with sculpted, distinctive sheet metal. The Kia Sportage is offering one of the boldest designs in the segment. Even the refreshed Toyota RAV4 is arriving with sharper styling built around its hammerhead headlight design. There's a real cost to driving something that doesn't excite you visually. Most people spend meaningful time in and around their vehicle every single day, and how you feel about that car at a glance has a quiet but consistent effect on the ownership experience. The interior faces the same critique. Well-built and logically organized, but visually minimal. A sea of gray plastic with little ambient personality. The Trail Sport and Sport Touring trims inject some color and character, but the rest of the lineup is going to feel plain by comparison. It blends in when most of its rivals are starting to stand out, and that's a trade-off worth weighing carefully. A forgettable design is one thing, but what makes it harder to overlook is that you're also being asked to pay more for it than the competition is charging, and that's the biggest reason of all. Number 1. Many rivals are cheaper. All of the above might be acceptable if the CR-V were offering exceptional value, but that's precisely where the final argument lands, and it's a significant one. The CR-V Hybrid is starting at $35,630 and climbing to $42,250 at the top of the range, putting it consistently above several direct rivals. The Kia Sportage Hybrid is starting at roughly $5,000 less. The Toyota RAV4 Hybrid is coming in around $3,400 cheaper at comparable trim levels. The Hyundai Tucson Hybrid is also landing below the CR-V, while offering more power, more driver assistance features, and a more tech-rich cabin. $5,000 is a year of car payments for a lot of buyers. It's a cushion for unexpected repairs. It's the difference between feeling comfortable with a purchase and quietly worrying about it every time a bill arrives. When the vehicles sitting below the CR-V in price are offering comparable or superior feature sets, the pricing becomes difficult to rationalize. Reputation doesn't offset a price premium that rivals simply aren't charging. And for buyers doing the math carefully, there are compelling options in this segment that cost meaningfully less while covering most of what the CR-V brings to the table. The Honda CR-V is a genuinely capable compact SUV, practical, well-built, and backed by one of the stronger reliability records in its class. But a frustrating CVT, the absence of standard all-wheel drive, thin cabin storage, a Trail Sport trim that leans on looks over hardware, styling that plays it too safe, and a price tag sitting above the competition. Taken together, these are real trade-offs that deserve honest scrutiny. The compact SUV segment in 2027 is more competitive than it has ever been, and the CR-V is no longer the automatic answer it once was for buyers who take the time to compare what else is out there at the same price or less. Clearly, CR-V isn't the only one with drawbacks here. Other compact SUVs have them too, and the Hyundai Tucson, which you can check out in our next video, is no exception. It's often considered one of the best values in the segment, but polarizing styling, questionable fuel efficiency, and unintuitive infotainment controls will definitely make you think twice about it.